We have got some incredible stories to share with you tonight. You guys are going to be so blown away. We are going to be recording this so that you can send it to someone that you maybe think needs to hear it. But you may want to grab some tissues. Some of these stories will probably make you get a little teary-eyed when you hear maybe because it's relatable to you. I know for me, that was one of the things that kind of got me when I started to hear the stories. And suddenly those stories were my story. And I thought, well, my goodness, if these people are doing this, why couldn't I? And so that's how I got into the network marketing profession. But we are going to go ahead and kick this off. Michelle, if you'll keep letting people in the room. I want to first start off by telling you, make sure you stay on until the end, because you never know which story that you're going to hear that is going to be super impactful for you, or maybe even someone that you know. For those that do not know, I am Tina Joy Carroll. I'm a grandma to 5 grandbabies, mama to 3 adult children, wife to Donnie, and sold out network marketer because it's absolutely changed my entire life in the 9 years I've been in this profession. I have to start with this though. How many of you are just a little skeptical of this whole deal? Like you're just like, no, is this real? Because if that is you, then you are in fact me. Put a 1 in the chat section, because I was the biggest skeptic of all skeptics when my friend Jolie reached out to me about 10 and a half years ago. I was like, not only am I not going to do it, I'm a little embarrassed that you are as my friend. So if you could stop and just get a real job, that would be great. And thankfully, she did not listen to me. And thankfully, she did not give up on me, because 18 months later, I finally decided to take a real hard look at what she had her hands on. And it has been all go since then. And you're going to hear some stories tonight. I'm not going to share mine with you tonight because you're going to hear so many tonight that are just going to be so inspiring to you. But first, I have the pleasure of introducing someone who is so incredibly special to me. I didn't even know this woman existed about 6 years ago. I didn't even know she was on this planet. And we found ourselves in a situation where we were friends because we were in the same company. We weren't in the same team, like with each other, but we were both struggling really, really bad. And we thought, well, what if we just partner together and we just do things together? And so at least we had this camaraderie and this partnership to help our teams win in the best way we knew how. Well, friends, it didn't seem to matter what we did. We couldn't win where we were. And so we went on the search for a home where we could help people win in the biggest way possible. What I love so much about Sarah's story is she is just like so many other people. She was a paramedic, you guys. She is a mom to 2 boys, and her husband's a firefighter, and they were passing in the night, never seeing each other. I can't even imagine the stress of being a first responder paramedic, but she lived that day in and day out, and she had a product experience. That product experience changed her life. And the girl just simply said, do you think you might want to share a link? And she was like, well, sure, I've never done anything like this before. Not only did she come in quite literally like a wrecking ball in all the best ways possible, now she's become a multiple 6-figure earner with the fastest growing team inside of this company. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear from her tonight. Not only is she my business partner, but she's also one of my best friends, Miss Sarah Hollingsworth.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. We can't wait to be able to share some of these stories with you guys. Like Tina was saying, what we have here is so special. It is so unique in the industry. And maybe you are somebody who's like, I think this is a scam. I'm going to be honest. I think it's a scam. But I want to hear what you have to say. You're going to find something here that's going to resonate with you. I guarantee it. And I don't want to take up a ton of time because I do want everyone to be able to get their stories out. We just have a few tonight, and we want to be respectful of your guys' time too. But where we are is so unique, and that's what we really want to talk to you guys about tonight. So obviously, I'm kind of a super fan. I didn't really realize what I had going on here until I got on the Zoom, and I was like, Trinant. I am a super fan. All that to say, we are called Trinant. It is actually the French word for change life quickly, which I love. Like Tina said, I was a paramedic for 17 years, and I literally didn't know that there was going to be anything else. I didn't know that I was going to be able to find anything else out of where I was. It was going to require taking on another job or working more hours. Neither of those things was feasible for me. And so what I love is that this place changes people's lives no matter where you're at. You don't have to be anybody special to have massive success here. And that's what I love. The timing about where we're at, you guys, we're an 11-year-old company. We are not brand new. We're not a startup. We are a solid debt-free company, which is also really important. And that actually didn't seem to be a big deal to me in the beginning. Now being in the business for 6 years, I'm like, okay, this is a big deal to be debt-free, but also incredibly innovative. One of the things I really loved about Turnot is that every like 12 to 18 months, they were coming out with a product that was like pre-trend. Like they were trending, they were seeing things before the trends would happen. And then the people that were in the business were just having explosions of growth. It was unlike anything I had ever seen. And so what we're at for timing wise, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, is incredible. We're not brand new, but we're still on a massive trajectory of growth. We just launched the Daily Health System, and I'm sure most of you guys watching probably have heard something about it, right? Someone gave you this link. You've probably seen them post a couple things. Maybe you're using the system. It's changed my life. It's changed Tina's life. It's changed the lives of the people you're going to hear from today. And it just won the Gold Stevie Award, which just means that it's the top of its class in the industry. There is literally no other one better than ours. And it's unreal. Because what we have here is high impact products that are really revolutionary. They're proprietary blends and exclusive formulas that you can't get anywhere else. You can only get them here. I like being part of the exclusive club. I don't know about you guys, but if I get in on something that's like ahead of the times, I'm like, oh, this is juicy. Like, let me in. I want to be one of the first all the time. And you actually have a chance to do that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I am going to actually introduce another set of people here, another couple of friends that, just like Tina said, she didn't know me we didn't know each other 6 years ago. One of the best things about this business is the relationships that you build, and you build them fast. I am a skeptic. I'm a hardcore skeptic. And I have struggled with trusting people. Anybody else like that? I'm a skeptic, and I don't trust people very well. This business is changing my life, you guys, because the people that you get into with businesses here become some of your lifelong friends. It's unreal. So I have the absolute pleasure of announcing our first speakers tonight, which is Chris and Katie Draper. You guys, 4 months ago, they didn't even know what this company was. I'm not going to tell too much of their story, but it is so insanely powerful. They had our sweet friend Abby, who is right in between us, sandwiched in between us. She's unbelievable. She reached out to them over and over and over again, and finally they said yes. You guys, what has happened to them since joining this business is nothing short of, honestly, it's like miraculous. It gives hope in so many ways. I am every day loving being in business with them. We have the best time. Who also has a great chat? I think we have some of the best chats here. They're hilarious almost all the time. We're loving doing this with them. They're absolutely incredible, powerful business owners. And they're changing thousands and thousands of lives just in the short amount of time that they've been here. So I am going to turn it over to Chris and Katie Draper so that they can share their story with you guys.
Well, just to piggyback on that, we didn't know Sarah or Tina 6 years ago. We didn't know her 6 months ago.
Nope.
We didn't. Literally, we just met, and literally, she's like the sister I didn't even know I wanted. I mean, it's just so yeah. That's how great it is here. So, anyways, yeah, let's dive into our story. Our story's a little bit crazy. We started off. We started off as normal, everyday people. We were working, we were going to school, we were doing stuff. I'm going to speed through a bunch of years here, okay? And then when I met Katie, she was running a cupcake bakery. I was working for Nestle in the corporate world. I spent every day, every waking hour working for Nestle. It was sucking the life out of me. We ended up getting married. We had kids. We ran this bakery for nine years together. And then we decided that we were going to get into our first network marketing company. We did that for a few years. We became top of our company at that network marketing company. Then things changed. We had to pivot. We decided to start our own boutique. We did that for another year or so until the world decided to implode on itself with COVID, and we had to pivot again. And so we closed that boutique and we started a traditional cookie business. We went back to the bakery world and we started a cookie business. We started with a food truck. The food truck did really, really great. And then we decided that we were going to open up a storefront, and it killed us. And this aptly called the survival shift that Sarah named this. It was literally, how are we going to survive? And I'll hand it over to Katie and kind of let her tell you from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point, that was a couple years ago, and we kind of struggled through a couple years of owning the cookie company. And every month it was just like, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to pay employees? How are we going to, put food on our own family's table? And so, it kind of just, we
cut back.
We were eating ramen. We were not making our house payment, like so many things. And finally we got to a point and we're like, we had to sell our house. We were upside down in our house. We almost lost it. This was as recently as the beginning of the year. And so we finally made the hard decision to close the cookie company. And then we're like, what do we do from here? Like, what do we do? And so, this was kind of in April of this year. And, during that time, I've always dealt with my weight since I was 8. And so, when you go through stressful times like that, like you just tend to, if you're one that eats your feelings, which I packed on the pounds. And so come this last May, I was at my highest weight ever. And I was completely, anxiety ridden. My stress was, to the max. Like, we didn't know how we were going to pay our bills. We had finally sold our house and moved into a new house that we didn't know how we were going to make the payment on. We didn't know how.
The only reason we qualified for the loan on this house was because we had a year, because our taxes hadn't been done yet for this year, and we were able to qualify on tax paperwork from 2 years prior. That was it. And we didn't have any money. Like, we were like, how are we going to do this? And we did have some equity in our house. So we were able to like kind of just downsize, but still we weren't sure how, when it came time to write that first check, we were not sure how we were going to do it at that point.
We were in by far our worst financial state we had ever been in. And we weren't going to make it another month. There was no
odd
way.
Jobs. I was doing other things, whatever I could. Heck, I even ran a couple DoorDash routes just to try and make some extra dollars. So
yeah.
I mean, like, it wasn't like, oh, we just decided and everything was great. It was like, no, it took us a while to find Tronaut, and thank God. If we did, but let's move on.
So
sorry.
But anyways, long story short, we were in a really bad place that I'm sure people can resonate with, especially after these last couple years, right? And so, it took me getting to the lowest of lows, health wise, to be like, okay, I've got to do something. And it took Abby actually reaching out multiple times, probably for about 8 months before the Daily Health System ever came out. But one of her last messages was like, look, you need to try this. She actually saw a post I put out on Facebook. And she's like, look, you need to try this. And so I did, very, very skeptically, had zero expectations. And it changed my life. I'm down 67 pounds now, in 4.5 months. And that alone was just like, oh my gosh. Now, when I tried these products, I had zero intentions of getting involved in the business wise. But even though we were literally on our last leg, but after I tried them, I was like,
you said this really great in a post the other day. We kept saying to people who were asking us, we kept saying, oh no, we're fine. Fine. But we were anything but fine.
And I feel like
okay.
That's a lot of people. I'm sure some of you on here can resonate with that, because you don't want people to know the bad. You only want them to see family time. We're going here. We're going on this vacation. We're doing this. We're doing great, right? Whenever anyone asks you, how are you doing? The normal answer is, oh, I'm great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. That's just what you say, because you're not going to say, I'm awful, right? And that was us too. And so nobody really knew. Nobody really knew. And so, long story short, we ended up, after trying the products for literally a day, said, okay, sign us up, because we saw the potential. We spent a lot of time with Abby and Sarah and Tina, just kind of going through everything, like, how is this going to work for us, right? And I will preface this by saying, yes, we had a boutique in the past, but those couple years that we had our cookie company, we were non-existent as far as social media and whatnot, personally, boutique wise, any of that. And so I honestly thought, okay, maybe I can make enough to pay for my products. That was my sole intention, was because I need these products now in my life. But what's happened is it's literally cannonballed and just snowballed. There you go. Wrong word, but it snowballed. And like, I never thought people would want to, join us. We weren't team builders. We weren't anything like that. Right. And it has been insanely amazing.
Huge blessing.
We have gone from, not being able to even cover 1 month's payment when we started this of our house, to being able to, feel extremely comfortable with paying all of our bills, all of the food for the family, not having to worry about buying groceries and school supplies and back to school clothes and winter clothes and football equipment, to not having to worry about that is the most life-changing thing. I can't even say.
The fact that I didn't have to tell my kids this year that they couldn't play football because we couldn't afford to have them play football.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. Like, I never wanted them to have to realize that we weren't able to give them what they had always had before. And now we weren't able to do that, or we weren't. And now we can again, thank God. You know what I mean? Because that was one of those things I was really not looking forward to. So yeah.
But to say it's changed our lives is a vast understatement, because I honestly don't know where we would be if we had not taken that chance and finally said, okay, let's give this a try. I'm not a longtime network marketer at all. I'm not a team builder. I'm not anything, right? I was a bakery owner, and it has just blossomed. And I think it's because there's so many people that just need that extra income right now.
And let's pitch
Yes.
with that.
With that being said,
let's pitch that off to another person that did need that income as well, and as their circumstances that brought them to Tranont as well, and that would be Miss Grace Gagner, and maybe her husband Dana. I'm not sure if he's on as well, but at least Grace should be on.
They are amazing, and they're going to share their story. Grace, take it on.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Grace and Dana here. We are boutique owners. We're married and we run a business together. That's a big feat, huh? We started out, actually, we were youth pastors for our first 13 years when we were first married, like our first part of our lives. We were youth pastors, and basically the last church we were at was struggling financially, so we basically ended up starting our own business because we needed some income. And it kind of fell along the same time of COVID when everybody was shopping online. So it kind of just grew like really quickly in like a short period of time. And we took that growth and we're like, oh, we need a bigger warehouse. So we invested into like a huge warehouse, 14,000 square foot or more. And our mortgage was, or our rent was so high for that warehouse that we were kind of just going into this like debt hole basically every single month. After we couldn't keep up with our rent, we couldn't keep up with our payroll. Our employees went from what, Dana?
A lot.
We had like almost 40 employees at one point. We were trying to figure out, because we had never ran a business before. And so we were trying to figure out how to do this together. And we had a whole bunch of ups and downs, and we ended up getting in a whole bunch of debt. managing 40 plus employees. And then once COVID ended, everybody started going back to work and everything. And so sales kind of dipped a little bit. And then we were just stuck with this huge 14,000 square foot warehouse rent and a lot of debt. So,
Yeah, we found ourselves in trouble pretty quickly, and because once you start getting into uh just challenges that are like that, then you start seeing other challenges kind of pop up, and so it starts to affect your mindset. Starts to affect um your your sense of hope. It starts to affect your drive, your ambition, and you kind of begin to shift into survival mode. And obviously, I mean, maybe some can, some can't relate. Our story is not bigger or better. Everyone's story is different. But we found Trinot at a very critical point in our life, in which obviously that our business was shifting and adjusting. You could say struggling, but shifting and adjusting. And then at the right moment, we just, with our relationship with Chris and Kaidi, we got introduced to Sarah and Tina and Abby and so many other phenomenal people. And the first benefit that Trinot brought to us is it brought a community of people that were thinking higher than we were. And that was the first benefit, being surrounded by people who are thinking on a level that we were not. And so not only were the products bring the products brought phenomenal changes to our bodies, just mentally being connected to people who help your thoughts become elevated and challenge you in fresh and in new ways, was just probably one of the most inspiring and one of our greatest. I guess was one of the main reasons for why we decided to say yes. Let's go ahead and let's move forward, and let's, not only are we experiencing this personally, it changes our lives, but let's start to promote this. Let's get out there and just really take a risk and see what happens. And so over just a period of time, now obviously for us, we have had a social media following, so our path launching looks different than everyone else's, kind of a different following. You don't have to have one, right? You don't have to have a giant following. I mean,
I think it's the people on our team that really sold it for me. Like when we had the opportunity call, it was like they were way excited, and I was like halfway eating a quesadilla, like, what is this thing, and then they believed in me. Like, I know Chris and Kaidi from, like, I've met them a couple of times from another previous business we did together. We were connected that way, but like, they believed in me, and I didn't believe in myself. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. I can't even barely go live, for my other business. I'm like exhausted. So I instantly felt better on the products. I felt like that I no longer was grabbing for the energy drinks anymore in the middle of the day. Like, my whole day changed, from the inside out. The products were just incredibly amazing, like overnight. And then what really sold us was the team, like our team. Everybody, I have not met one person on this particular team that hasn't been helpful. Everybody helps each other,
and inspiring.
It's like the culture is insane. Like, it's so like encouraging, and like you're like, you can't not believe in yourself, and that's what really helped me, because they call me the sham wow person of live selling. I get out there and I just sell anything, and I'm like, look at this, guys, this is awesome, buy this. That's what I love to do. I never thought I was going to be somebody who led a team or inspired somebody to, do this, but, they believed in me. So I was like, okay, I guess I can do it. And, I just kept showing up, even though I felt dumb, like trying to lead a call or trying to talk to somebody. I just kept doing it. And then people start jumping onto it.
And that's why we're here today, because not only is the compensation, not only the product's phenomenal, life changing, not only is the compensation plan the best that we have ever seen, but having people in your corner that call you higher, and calling you forward and speaking more into you. When we first joined Trinot, it was the words of affirmation and encouragement that got us, and we're like, oh wait, we actually can make some really great money here too.
Well, and the follow-up too. They don't drop you. These people, we're not going to drop you after this call. They're going to make sure, we are all going to make sure that you guys get exactly what you want out of this company. And of course you have to make the decision, but literally the support here is amazing. So
yeah, that's
and the money is phenomenal.
And the opportunity to bless people and to see people's lives change all across the board. So thank you.
I love your guys' story so much because I think there's so much still really relatable about that. You just took a chance, and that's where everybody gets stuck. You just took that chance. You said we're gonna try because what we're doing isn't working. And so I just love that. We're so blessed by you guys. We just love you. So thank you for sharing your story with us. And we're gonna move on. We have all kinds of great stories. I almost got a little teary-eyed with that one. Their story gets me. But now I'm gonna introduce another beautiful friend of ours on the team, Mandy. Well, do you want me to say Amanda? I like to say Mandy. She's unbelievable, you guys. Another one that we were just now getting to know. She just jumped into this business with the Drapers. Right around the same time as the Gagners, and it's been absolutely incredible. I honestly, you guys, like, I've never heard anybody with a story like Mandy's. She is one of the most resilient people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, when I think about what she has gone through and what she even still is having to go through, like, I can't. I am so overwhelmingly proud of who she is as a person, and the grit and the drive that she has is honestly, it's unmatched. And so I cannot wait for you guys to hear her story because I think, again, that is so relatable. When you get to hear some of the things that she's gone through that a lot of people will resonate with, but how she's overcome that. And not just that, she hasn't just overcome, she's absolutely thriving here. She's a mom of 2 boys. She's got an amazing husband, Russ. This girl works like nobody I've met, except maybe Tina Joy Carroll. She is crazy, amazing. I'm so blessed. We're blessed to have her. So, Mandy, will you unmute and just share your story?
Yeah, hey everyone. So I am Mandy. I know it says Amanda, not trying to confuse anyone, but so waiting for the hopefully I can live up to the hype. Thank you so much, guys. So I will say that I do know the Drapers, and I wish, since they had known Abby and Abby was knocking for so long on their door, I wish so badly that they would have just answered Abby sooner so that the universe would have put this alignment way sooner than it did. When Katie and Chris, the Drapers who had already spoken, they had posted like day one of taking these items after they were just like, we want to do this. All I know is that in Katie's little share on social media, it was in my scroll. We all aimlessly scroll to get our little hits of dopamine on social media. And part of it was something about not reaching for her Tums. I was sold. I didn't have a penny to my name, y'all. And I do mean that. We're going to get into the details. We're trying to not have to use tissues tonight. So I apologize in advance. But not having to reach for Tums, y'all, if you can relate to that, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. I know you did them for Tina earlier. If you've ever had to reach for the Tums, the antacid, the Tagamates, the whatever's, you know someone who suffers. When I tell you that my suffering was next level on the financial side, on the medical side, I have seen every single doctor possible. I have done every single lab, every single holistic out of pocket, because the insurance won't pay for the MD, ND. I was reduced down to living on every kind of homeopathic and natural and prescription, you name it, with a restricted diet. I was literally down to eating Greek yogurt, plain baked potatoes, and some oatmeal. I believe like my 3 things I was down to eating, and I still was spending most of my days on the bathroom floor. I did not know how I was going to make it out of it. I could no longer show up for work. My husband is disabled. He has a spinal cord injury. And that happened at 38. He's now 42. And we'll get to that in just a moment, but I only have a small window to share. I also have 2 special needs sons, various different disabilities and medical. And they are little, they're 7 and 8. So all it took for me though, was the hope of not having to reach for Tums, because one day and you didn't have to take Tums, what could this maybe do for me? I've tried everything. I'm going to be your biggest skeptic. I have no way to pay for this. I do not have a credit card balance limit available to me. I do not have I literally could show you all the screenshots. When I tell you that we have 2 kids, we had savings accounts for them. We had depleted them to get groceries. And then we were putting groceries and gas and insurance and basic life functions on credit cards. And I'm sure we've all been there at some point. We're not just talking holiday gifts and birthday parties. We were talking the basics to survive for our children, plus our medical bills, plus our prescriptions. We've been there, or we know someone who's been there. So I knew there was maybe a payment plan, and Sarah, Tina, and Chris were the only ones who knew that my card declined. They it declined. I had no way to pay for it. And I was so like, give it to me. I need this. Every home needs this. It does not matter if you've been sick, if you've had surgery, if you've had antibiotics, if you've had reflux and you've had going too frequently, not going frequently enough. This right here took me from writing. When I tell y'all the financial strain of the medical end of our family, of the bills, we were over 6 figures in debt. And I'm telling you, those bills were, I don't own a Louis Vuitton. I don't even own a Coach bag. I have flip-flops that have been around me for 9 years. I live in Florida. We were using the credit cards to pay the co-pays. We were using the credit cards to pay the balance off the other one, that not the balance, the basics. Nothing was happening. It was just, and the interest was, thousands. We were paying $4,800 a month in just interest. Any penny that came in was to that. Okay. And I was so desperate because as the only person that was able to function for our 3 dogs, 2 kids, my husband, our home, and work to make an income for us, I was spending hours a day as a recluse on the bathroom floor, you guys, on the bathroom floor, hugging a toilet, on the toilet, in the shower, just in the fetal position on the left side, because all day long I would try and sip water and I couldn't keep water down. Could not keep water down. I had to be scalding hot sips all day long with my gastroparesis constantly around the clock. I could not keep anything down. I wasn't absorbing. I started having multiple broken bones, emergency surgeries because my body was completely depleted of nutrition. No doctors were able to help me. This did it, you guys. Daily Health System and Enrich. If you do not have Enrich, you need to learn about it. You need to get it. So as a reminder, since then, I would tell everyone in the world about this, even if I could not make a penny. Okay. I could not make a penny. Oh, hopefully you're still here. Okay. Sorry. My battery is dying. So thanks to Enrich, sharing, shouting from the rooftops. I literally, this is true, in my bag that was gifted to me from a vendor. Okay. Not a Louis Vuitton or anything like that. I keep these bills. These are my personal bills. These aren't even in our 6-figure others. This is my hidden stash of cards that I had before I was married that are my name. They're not our spousal accounts. They're just in me. And I was like, this was Christmas. This was birthdays. This was, my kids need to have a little something, and they were maxed out. So went to the grocery store around right before I started with Trinot. This is me wrapping up. I'm sorry, guys. And I have the screenshot of this as well. And I shop at Aldi, the cheapest of cheapest grocery stores, if you've ever been to one. And I was putting in the cart, okay, bananas. My kids both eat that. A loaf of bread at Aldi. Okay, what am I going to put on the bread? Okay, peanut butter. One has a peanut allergy. What's he going to eat? Eggs, because they were $2.16 a dozen. Y'all, so I've said it wrong twice. $14.71 was left available to me. These cards were maxed. We had no personal cards left. We have savings of our children were even depleted. I'm talking not even 1 penny left. They got closed by the bank because there was nothing left in them. I had $14.71, and I was at the grocery store trying to figure out, how am I going to feed my kids? They were pleading for pickles. Thankfully, there was a Dollar Tree next door, and I was like, let me check the console of the car for the $1.25 and any tax for the pickles that they wanted. But like, I needed to feed them for the week. We had scrounged through the pantry, through the fridge, through the freezer. We don't qualify for any government assistance, but my husband had a major spinal surgery this summer that is known as the divorce one. Like, you're getting divorced if you have this surgery. The surgeons made us come in and meet together with him. He's in a neck collar. He had multiple fusions. He had a aggressive thinning of his spinal cord in the back. And I was just me sick on the bathroom floor, $14.71 left to figure out how to feed everyone. You get a pasta, and this now is a reminder that I've paid one of these 3 off, thanks to Trinot. I'm about to pay off the second one this month, you guys. I eat all the things now. We have pictures. Today I went and spent $199.78 at Costco. Got all the Uncrustables because we can afford Uncrustables now. We literally are paying down our 6-figure debts, and officially it's under 6 figures, y'all. I started this company less than 4 months ago. And I'm not even touching the surface of my actual goals. This bracelet will be on me until I get to them. So now when I go anywhere, I swipe my Trinot card, because the money that I earned goes here. I don't have to swipe a credit card. They're still open. They're now no longer in the negative, and they have balances available on them. And I still choose to use this, so I'm not going back in debt. So when I say anything is possible, from your wellness to your finances, if you show up, it will happen. It will happen. And I'm sorry that I took over my 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
And don't worry about that. It's honestly, that is one of the most I mean, that is what this company, first of all, is all about. For those of you who are just joining, maybe you don't know a lot about this company. This company is about changing lives. Okay. And as you just heard, it changed our lives. It changed Grace's lives. It literally took Mandy's life and did a 360, and maybe it was a 720. I don't know. It literally changed her life. I mean, I've known her for a long time. I know the health issues that she's been going through. And the fact that she can eat is a huge, huge, huge thing. In fact, while we were in Vegas together, I took a picture of her macaroni and cheese that before she would not have even been able to touch. And so, I mean, I just know how important that is. But the financial side of this, with this business and being able to tap into a community of people that will help you throughout your journey here at Trinont, the products that are amazing, and then the business that will literally help set your life free, as far as financially, is amazing. And then on the other end, even once you do start to earn, we also have financial advisors here at Trinont that can help you manage that money that once you do start to make it. So that's another amazing thing that we have. Who's our next person?
Andrea. So
Andrea
yeah.
Brown. Oh, I cannot wait for you guys to meet Andrea Brown. I'm gonna let Heidi
Yeah.
introduce her. So yes, Andrea Brown.
So Andrea is going to share her story next. Andrea, gosh, she is from our hometown where we lived originally. Didn't know her really personally. And the craziest part is she decided she kind of came in under the radar. She joined our team and she started doing lives by herself. She just started going and running. And I'm like, who is this person? Come to find out, Andrea is a teacher. She is not a network marketing professional in any way, shape, or form. But she has a drive to retire herself, and be able to take care of herself. And she has done amazing things in a really short time as well. And I could not be prouder to introduce her and let her share her story and what Trinont has meant to her and what it's done in her life. Andrea, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Well, we don't want you guys to keep looking. Andrea Brown, if you're on, send
She
me a
was
message.
on.
Mute. Okay, I'm unmuted,
There
but
she
now I don't know
is.
what to do.
Oh, there you go.
There she is.
All right.
Oh, you can see me? Okay, see? You don't even know how to know how to use social media to do this, apparently, because I don't. Okay, so hi, I'm Andrea. I am in my 35th year of teaching. You should pray for me because it's not going well. I know I'm getting old when I start to say, oh my God, who buys pants with holes in them? See, I'm old. So long story short, end of the last school year, I had put 30 pounds of the 90 pounds back on that I had lost. And they had decided to cut one of my periods that they had given me an extra period to teach last year, which was awesome. That was an extra $600 a month. And how are you going to give somebody an extra $600 a month and then say, no, you can't have it anymore? Hello. My mom and I had just bought a new house together, moved in. I was getting used to that money because by the time we had closed on our house together, the interest rates had popped back up and put our house payment way over what I'm comfortable with. Because I'm going to have to do this house payment on my own someday. My mom's 84, she's constantly talking about when I'm not here, what are you going to do? So I actually actively started looking for something to make that extra money. But I'm lazy and I don't want to go to the mall and get a job where I'm outside the home. I don't want to do that. I've done that. I've done the second job thing. As a teacher, a lot of us do it. And I'm just not willing to do it. I'm pushing 60 next year. So I didn't want to do that anymore. And I thought, there's another company that I've worked with before. Let me look into that again. Maybe I'll do that again. And their product had become so expensive because of the economy that I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to sell that product. I mean, I like to use the product, but there's no way I'm going to be able to sell that to anyone. So I and I really want to retire, but I wasn't even thinking about that right then. I just wanted to replace that income. And so I saw Heidi and Chris, and I saw Heidi like dropping weight, and I'm like, what's she doing? I don't even know how we're Facebooked, to be quite honest. I have no idea how we're Facebooked. Friends of friends of friends of friends. I don't know. So I hung back for a couple of weeks, did not make myself known, just kind of looked to see what was going on. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and try this. What have I got to lose? What, a month of better health? So, I just like scraped together the money. You know, guys know that teachers don't get paid over the summer. So I scraped together some money, used some of the food budget, and bought my kit and got started. And there's so much help. Like, I don't have to do anything, you guys, but be on my phone, really. I mean, you're on your phone anyway, doing stupid stuff. So why not do something that might make you some money? So my first goal was to replace that $600 and then, pay for my product. So I wanted to do a business for free that would make me some money and take the product for free. So before I even got my product, Heidi and Chris had shared that there was a Facebook page called The Ripple Effect that has over, 4,000 testimonials in every health area you would ever think of. So it's not just weight loss. This is not just for weight loss, you guys. Proven by the fact that I've had weight loss surgery, which makes your heartburn wicked, wicked heartburn, you guys. And even taking the medicine I'm supposed to take for the heartburn, still have heartburn. So when I finally got my products and started taking the Enrich and the Activate and the Transform, I'm like, whoa, like my heartburn's gone. That is awesome. It's killing my cravings for that nighttime bowl of cereal, which is how I put that 30 pounds back on. Oops, cereal is my kryptonite. And so I started sharing other people's stories before I even had the product, before I even had a story. And before I even had my product, I had customers. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So literally like 3 weeks in, I think I got my like first pay thing. And I looked in there and I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like I'm not even doing anything. I don't even know how to use any social media besides Facebook. And apparently I don't even know how to use that because I couldn't even get on here and show you my face without help. I mean, imagine what I'd be doing if I knew how to use Instagram. I don't know how to use that either. So I just wanted to do that little replacement, and that happened immediately. It was so fast. And then being the sciencey teacher that I am, I'm like starting to look into the product. What are the tests that were done? Because I'm a big skeptic. I want to know what I'm putting in my body. And I want to know if I'm going to share it, I don't want to give people something that I'm not sure of. So I was like looking behind the scenes and creeping on Trenon and looking at all the research and stuff. And so I was just sold. I was sold from minute one. And then we went to leadership conference, which I highly recommend. And I shared with Chris that I have one other goal. And the reason I've 35 years in teaching and not retired yet is because not all of my teacher years are in my state's retirement system. I took a few years off. I went to Iraq, tell you that story another time. I taught on the East Coast for a while in private school, so that was not part of the retirement program. And so long story short, I shared with Chris that I need $20,000 to put back into my retirement program in order to retire. Or I'm going to be teaching until noon on the day I die. So, and I've got life to live, you guys. We lost the father of my 3 grown children 7 years ago. And he dropped dead of a heart attack. Go figure. Mr. Health, who knew he had a congenital heart defect? And when that happens, it changes you. It changes your attitude. I lost my teaching job right when COVID started, and nobody was hiring with COVID going on. So I lost 7 teaching paychecks. I don't know those of you who can say I can just middle class America that lives from paycheck to paycheck can lose 7 paychecks. It's taken me all of this time since COVID to recover from that. And I got a job, 7 months later. Of course, I got a job. COVID calmed down. Everybody went back to school, albeit online. So yeah, I had another job, but it has taken me this long to recover, and retirement looks really far away from me. And that makes me cry. I have a 9-year-old grandson that this product is helping me keep up with. I've felt better than I felt in a decade on this stuff. And I'm pushing 60, you guys. I felt better than I did when I came home from Iraq when I was in the best shape ever. So these products just aren't for weight loss, and this business just isn't for businessy people. Obviously, look at me. I'm just at a point in my life where I don't care what anybody thinks anymore because I'm old, so who cares? So I'm not ashamed to get on and try to be live. People know I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. So just pretend you don't know what you're doing because you don't, and nobody cares. Just hop on and share. I shared other people's stories before I even had my product. And then I shared my story. I mean, I dropped 5 pounds in a week. My inflammation was gone. I can see my ankle bones. I can see my wrists again. I can wear rings I haven't worn in a long time. And being a science teacher, I know that if you can see inflammation on the outside of your body, your organs are not well. Your insides are not good either. And so the product is stellar, you guys. I'm telling you right now, as a science teacher, when the guy at TLA was talking about the science behind the products, and everybody was like, what? Like nobody was taking pictures anymore of the slides but me, because I knew what he was talking about. I'm like, oh, that's how it works in your cells. I totally get that. So it's just been wonderful. And when I told Chris that I had a goal to put $20,000 back into that retirement account so I can get the heck out of teaching, I got to get out, guys. I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's so exhausting these days. He said, put that little wristband on and don't take it off until you have met that. And I just took it off because it wore out, and I have another one that I'm going to put on because I have backups. Yes, I do. And I'm going to wear that until I retire, folks. I'm going to do it. So, guys, this is so easy. I've done other things where I'm sitting at a booth all day long on Saturdays. Things like that. Like, I don't have that kind of time in my life. I want to be hanging out with my grandson and hiking in the mountains and doing stuff like that he likes to do. And I need to be able to do that for a lot more years. So thank you so much for having me on, you guys. It's not a difficult business, evidenced by the fact that this dope is doing it. And thank you so much for having me on. I love all you guys. You guys, if you're thinking about hopping on and doing a business and you don't know what you're doing, these people just give it all to you. I haven't made a graphic. I haven't had to provide anything for this business. It's all provided for you. I've never seen anything like it. So hop on and have fun with us. It's really a hoot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Andrea. We are so happy that you're part of the team, and couldn't agree with everything you said more. Absolutely. All right, we have someone else that Shelby, are you on? Let us know if you are on. I know she didn't know if she was going to make it, but she messaged us now and she was really excited that she was. So if Shelby, if you're on, we'd love to have you share. And maybe that's her. No?
Not yet.
Okay, I don't know if she's on yet. Okay, so we're going to
I'm here.
we're gonna she is.
There she
Yes.
is.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it.
No, you're fine.
So I'll introduce Shelby real fast as we go. First of all, we've known Shelby for a few years. Another person who has multiple different backgrounds. Her husband does a couple different things as well. In fact, they started a landscaping business together with her husband. But Shelby is one of the, I don't know, she's just one of the people that I admire her ability to just go out and like get things done. She loves on her people. She's a really, really awesome person. And her background, I want to let her tell about her background and where they came from, and why and what Trenaut has done for them as well. But Shelby's one of the people that we just had to put on because of this. So yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Hopefully y'all can hear me and everything. I just sprinted into my house. So I am so excited to be here with y'all. Thank y'all so much for asking me to even do this. Sorry, I'm gonna close that. Okay, there we go. So I am so excited, guys. Just a little bit about me and my husband. He's actually grabbing dinner with the other kids, so I came home so I could hop on the call, or else he'd be here too. But my husband and I come from kind of diverse backgrounds. Banking. My husband was in banking for 12 years, and then We have owned a boutique for 8 years. And as you can imagine, you have these highs and lows of the boutique world. And we really decided a couple years ago, after my husband left his banking career and we were kind of in one of these after COVID, we decided that we really needed to diversify our income. And so we dove into the rental properties and a landscaping business. And to be brutally honest, over the last year or so, it's just one of those things where it's like, we're just still trying to stay afloat. I mean, we were selling rental properties to try to pay off business debt. And I mean, here we go, and finally it came to head. And I just told Matt, I was like, listen, we need to find something else. But this was like earlier this year. Had never even heard of Trinot at the time. And I'm very transparent with people, and I tell them that I previously did do the weight loss shots. I had a baby at 38, and as you can imagine, weight doesn't come off like it did when I was 28. And so I struggled. And so in December of 2022, I did the weight loss shots, and they worked well as far as losing weight, but I was in debilitating pain. The side effects were horrible. And not to mention we're self-employed. And so I paid over $500 a month for it. So I was also mainly this year, the reason I bring that up is because earlier this year, I was looking more for a product than a business opportunity. And I was looking for something that could help me maintain my weight loss, but also help my husband to lose some weight. He used to be a triathlete. And 2 kids later, life happens. Haven't been able to, focus on those things. And so I really went to Trinot for us. I mean, I know that kind of sounds selfish, but I did. I had zero intentions of selling it. And quickly realized when we started it in June that it made me feel amazing. I am not one of the crazy success stories of weight loss, but I do love that I have the other side of it as well, saying, this has helped me immensely with my sleep, my energy. I have 4 boys. That's why I'm sprinting in here from a baseball game. And so they keep me on my toes. I have debilitating migraines. I had high blood pressure after I had my last baby. And I can't tell you how these products have made me personally feel so much better. And so that's when and my husband dropped 15 pounds in like 3 weeks. So I was like, wow, like we cannot gatekeep this. Like we need to tell people. And we did. And we officially launched our Trinot business on June 12th, I'm sorry. And the amount of, I guess like people just, appreciating us being honest, like, hey, this is something that you can not only make an income from, but these products work. I love that the products have the ability to work for multiple different things. Like you don't have to buy 15 products to address one issue, and I love that the Daily Health System works for someone like me who's not trying to lose weight, but it also works great for my husband who is trying to lose weight. I love that there's a variety of different health concerns that each product addresses. But I can't tell you how much of a blessing. And I would even tell people, like, I'm like, I will show you my pay stubs. Like, I'm not going to blow smoke. Like, this has literally been the biggest blessing financially for our family than I could have ever asked for. Just since July, the amount that we've been able to make with not only one account, but 2, that Trinot allows you to have 2 accounts on their comp plan is unheard of. I've seen a lot of comp plans, people, and I'm telling you, I have never seen that before. And so for my husband and I to both now bring in, I mean, we're pushing closer to almost 6 figures that we've brought in between our 2 accounts in the last 4 months. I mean, it's mind blowing. I was actually just talking to my best friend about it tonight. She may actually be on here, and she's just starting with Trinot and just kicking off her business. And she was like, wow, that's like double, if not almost triple what I make in a year. And I said, exactly. All because I got loud. I told people about it. I wasn't scared to say, hey, you know what? There's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, you're into something else again. You're selling something else. You know what? That's fine. Let the naysayers do that. That's fine. Because I'm telling you, once people get their hands on their products, they'll love it just as much as you are. And they want to get loud, and they don't want to gatekeep just like I did. So I So I'm here as a testimony that the products work wonderfully for us. Our 12-year-old is even on the products. And my mom, my best friend, I mean, everybody. I mean, I just shout it from the rooftops, and it's been a blessing for so many people. But the financial aspect for my husband and I, that we were able to, go and pay for carpet that's getting installed this week, because we've needed new carpet in our home for a while. And we can look at him taking our 10-year-old on a private ski trip, just the two of them, to celebrate his birthday. And so it's not one of those things where we're sitting there going, okay, how are we going to pay this? How are we going to do this? Like, we're looking in the future, and that we can already go ahead and pay for it now, to where when it does come, we're not stressed about it and it's already taken care of. And so that's just been a huge blessing for us. And I just really hope that people, see the opportunity here and see how not easy it is. You still have to have that determination within you, but we have a great team that has so many resources and training that has been so helpful in starting a business if you've never even had any opportunity to do something like that. And everybody's here to help each other, which I love. So that's kind of our story. I'm so thankful that I'm a part of this team. I'm so thankful that I know the Drapers, and that I just happened to see a post that she made, and I was like, wow, that looks like something that would work great for me. And it's not the way last shot. It's all natural. So thank you for making that post. I appreciate it. And thank y'all so much for having me on today. I really feel honored to be a part of this team.
Thank you so much, Shelby. We're so excited for you, and y'all are rock stars, and we feel the same way. It has just been the biggest blessing ever. And we have one more. Do we have one more time, Sarah, to have one more share?
I think we might have to wrap it up a little bit short, just because we want to hit a couple of the slides, but I do want to hear her story too. So we're going to do another one of these, guys. But we want to highlight a couple of the quick slides, only because we want to keep this right around an hour for everybody, to be respectful of their time. But the timing of everything is really a big deal. And I know that you guys, I was crying a little bit, I'm trying to not wipe my face off, but these stories are incredible. And a lot of them are just so relatable. And so the best part about that is, like you heard from everybody, is not only are these products honest to God changing lives, there's no fluff with that. You're just hearing it from a few people here. We have a testimony group with 150,000 people in it. Those are just the people that wanted to write reviews. There's way more than that. But also the money involved, that's literally changing people's lives. We are living in an economy where if you don't have a backup plan, you're just free floating out there, and it's scary. It's super scary. So I'm going to have Tina hop back on here real quick. I'm going to have her share just a couple of quick things about the slides that we have on where we're at, where we're at as a company, what you guys can look at. If you've seen something tonight where you're like, okay, I need this in my life, or I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke. We're just going to highlight a couple of those things. So I'm going to bring Tina back on here so she can share a little bit of that.
Hello. Yeah, I'm like Sarah. I was texting her and I know these stories. I've heard these stories, right? I'm in the trenches, and I know these stories, and it gets me weepy. You just can't imagine that when you say yes to something, the number of people that it will impact even years later. And I'm just so incredibly honored and grateful that I didn't stay stubborn, and that I finally said yes to my friend Jolie, because of the number of people who have been impacted, whether it's been with their health or with their finances. And so I am just blown away by all of you, your work ethic, your willingness just to dig in and get to work and do what it takes to quite literally survive. And I've been there, and I know what that's like. And I'm just so grateful that Trinot has been such a blessing to each and every one of you. And so now that I've got all that off my chest, that I just felt like I had to say to you guys, there is a really special opportunity on the table for you right now. And it's different than what it was like for Shelby or Grace or the Drapers or Sarah or me or Mandy or Andrea or any of the other stories that you heard tonight. There's actually something even more special on the table. And we have these bonuses that are available in this really special month of October that you can come in and be a part of. And so I really want to just jump in and share those bonuses with you. There's two sides of this. So First, you've heard them say, I know that you heard Andrea say that it is a built-in done for you system. You do not have to be a social media expert, a content expert, or even have a following. To be very, very clear, I had no following when I got started in this industry. I was a high school dropout, a teen mom. I nearly drank myself to death in 2009, 2010, and spent a couple of weekends in jail for some DUIs. And so when I decided to start an online business, it wasn't like I was the Drapers and people were beating down the door to join the business with me. They were just praying my butt wouldn't end back up in jail. And so I had to build on social media from a very cold market. And so what we've done is we've put in place a system for you that if you're like me and you don't have any experience or you don't have a following and you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. It's all in place for you already. And so you're going to be able to come in and tap into this done for you business. It is going to require you to work, but it's simple work. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about some bonuses that are on the table for you really, really quickly. How many of you, so if you can pull that one you have up, that one, the 30-day game plan. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Just because we're limited on time and I want to make sure to get some of this really, really important stuff out there to you. How many of you were like me, even my goodness, I guess it was 14 years ago now. 14 years ago, I was going to Goodwill to look for Christmas presents for my children, for my 3 children, because I just didn't have the money. There was no extra money. Every bit of money I had was going to Save a Lot. I don't know if you've ever heard of that grocery store. That was even cheaper than Aldi's. And that's where I bought my groceries, and Christmas presents weren't going to be great, but it was all that I could do. And I had to have something for them to unwrap. And so why am I even telling you that? Because there's an opportunity on the table for you right now that you could earn a few $1,000s before Christmas. And for me, a few $1,000s before Christmas then would have been life-changing for me. It would have meant that my kids got brand new toys under the Christmas tree that year. It would have meant that we would have had extra to maybe go over, I live in Nashville, maybe to go over to Opryland and see the lights or just do anything extra. That money would have helped. And I've heard so many incredible stories on here, but guys, there's tens of thousands of stories just like the ones you've heard where people have come in and they've earned a few $1,000s. And so right now, what makes this special is not only can you come in October only, so make sure you hear me, okay? It's only in October. You get to come in, you have access to $40,000 in bonuses that you get 8 months to tap into, okay? 8 months to tap into. But then there's also an additional $19,000 in bonuses that you can earn by December the 31st of this year. And we have a game plan ready for you the second that you join to show you the exact steps on how to do this. That is $59,000 in just bonuses earned, you guys. That doesn't even include, Sarah, if you'll go back one slide, to the way we get paid. And so what I want you to look at on this slide that Sarah is going to pop up here. Oh, wrong direction, Sarah. We're going to welcome them to the team, but we're going to go back to that one first. Yes, thank you. Is if you'll look at this green line right here in the middle where it says monthly residual plus Jeep stipend. And I want you to look at these numbers and I want you to pick one that makes your life a little easier right now. Maybe you're like, okay, forget a little easier. I want to not just be a little easier. I want to be able to freaking go on a vacation. I want to be able to live a little, not just get by. I want you to look at that green line and think about where you want to be. Because for me, when I was starting over again, and make no mistake, even though I came from this industry, it was scary to start over again. It was very, very scary. And all I knew was that emerald mark right there where it says $9,000 a month. That is where I knew I needed to be to feel safe. And so that was where my eye was. And that was the prize for me then. We've since long surpassed that. But I know that each of you have a number and I want you to pick your number. And then I want you to let me know in the comments which number you chose and why that number is significant for you. What does that do for you? Does that, like the Draper story, does that mean you can pay your mortgage finally and breathe? Does that mean you can buy school supplies? Is it like Mandy's story where you're able to take care of medications and go to the grocery store and not just get $14 worth of stuff, but $400 worth of stuff and never have to look at how much you're spending, right? Maybe it's Grace's story who was like, I've never done anything like this. And even though I've been in front of people and I've been a youth pastor and I do these lives, this is still new and it's still scary, but they needed the income. Like, guys, you have heard from every different type of person and every different type of situation, and somehow they all made it work inside of this comp plan with these products, with this system, with this team. And so here's what I would encourage you to do. Pick the number. And then if anything you heard tonight made you feel that feeling that you get in your gut when you know it's time to make a decision, when you're just like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because that was me. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And all I really knew was the path I was on was not going to lead me where I wanted to go. And I had to do something different to get there. And I'm so grateful that I said yes. I'm so grateful that I stopped being stubborn. I'm so grateful that I stopped making fun of the people that were doing this, because the very thing I made fun of not only changed my lives, but guys, every life you've heard on this Zoom tonight is connected to my yes. Do you understand the power of your yes and the number of people that are going to come after you because you were brave enough to say yes today? And so I want to talk to you about your getting started options there. If you'll bring that up really quickly. There's so many different ways that you can get started here with us at Trinont. One of them, you can become a customer. If you heard a story tonight and you were like, I have to get on these products. I've heard these stories and I have to get on these products. We welcome you as a customer. We want to have you as a customer. But here's what I'm going to tell you is going to happen. Just like with Heidi, she told you she never intended to sell it. She wasn't going to sell it. She was just at her heaviest. She was tired of feeling that way. And she used a product that gave her an incredible result. And then because she decided to share that, if you think you'd ever want to share it with your mom, your sister, your best friend, your aunt, people at work, whoever, maybe for you, it really is just to cover the cost of your products. Or maybe you're dreaming a little bit bigger tonight. Then I want you to look at these different bundles here and I want you to decide which one will work for you. I'm going to tell you right now, if it were me, and this is what I did, this is exactly what I did when I came in, is I went with that platinum bundle. And I'll tell you why I'm saying platinum tonight. It goes away in October. It's your last opportunity to snag this incredible bundle because we're going down to 2 starting November the 1st. And neither of those 2 are going to have all of the things this platinum bundle has in it. It's going to give you a free ticket to our next event. You just heard these women and these men share about how this event was so incredible. Grace didn't even tell you that she won first prize at the disco. She won first prize at the disco at the event. Like, there's just so many cool things about being a part of our events, and you're going to get a free ticket to that. You're not going to have to pay the $99 enrollment fee. It's waived with this package. You're going to get all of our hero products that you've heard people talk about tonight. You're going to get multiples of some. Now, if you look at that, and I'm going to be real with you because I understand what it's like to just not have any money hardly left at all. If you look at that and you think that is just simply not possible for me, Tina, I totally get it. We have other options for you to choose from, but I did not want to end this Zoom without telling you that this is the last opportunity you will have to snag that platinum pack. Plus, it's going to give you more volume to help you rank advance, more volume towards you getting those bonuses, more products for you to try and to feel better. You just simply can't go wrong with that bundle. So Sarah, I'll turn it back over to you. And I think we could probably do one more story. Don't you guys think? Let me ask you this in the chat. How many of you want to hear one more story? Put a 2 in the comments.
It's a good one. Let's do it. Everybody wants it. Krista, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, wait, I just got to announce her a little bit too. I'm so glad that we have a few extra minutes for this, because if you can stay on to hear her story, you will absolutely love it. Just like some of the other ones we've heard tonight, which are so powerful. Just like Tina said, I've heard these and I'm like, I have chills every time. I'm so blessed by these people. Krista First of all, I didn't even know this girl lives like 10 minutes from me, which is so weird. She actually signed up right under Chris and Katie and didn't even know till we got on a Zoom, and she was started talking about something, a festival she had gone to that day, and I was like, I was at that festival. It was so funny. She's incredible, you guys. She's so much fun. We just got to spend some time together in Vegas. She's a mom of 2 little kids. I watched her launch her business when she's like barely out of the hospital from having that baby. She is a force. And I love, love, love her story because there's some similarities, but some things that are really, really different in it too. So, Krista, will you just share with us like your experience?
Absolutely. And I was hoping to sell everybody. I was hoping he would sell everybody, but he passed out on us. So you get me instead. Yeah, so I know Kirsten Katie from previous network marketing. And that's like honestly, like a lot of people say that's not why they signed up for this. And it wasn't. It was the weight loss. I have a 2-year-old. I was at the end of my pregnancy with Max here, and Katie had posted, and she was looking for opinions on the shots. And I looked at Billy, my partner, and I said, we should really consider that because I have gained so much weight over the last 10, 20 years. It was my 20-year reunion this year. So since high school, and I was a size 00. I was a gymnast, all of that. And over the last couple years, I have just put on the weight and put on the weight and put on the weight. And so when I saw Katie had posted about it, I kind of scrolled through people's responses, and I had looked at Billy and I was like, hey, you know what? Like maybe when I am done being pregnant and done nursing, maybe we do the shots. And he's like, if you want to do them, let's do them together. And I was like, okay. And thankfully I was still pregnant, so I didn't jump on that. And it gave me time for Katie to all of a sudden start posting her experience with Trinan. And I sent her a message before I was done. And I was like, hey, look, baby's coming in July at some time. Like, talk to me about this because I want to try these products. And her and I went back and forth. And I was like, okay. I was like, I will talk to you. I will come back to you when I'm done. Like when Max comes, I don't want to say like we're done, but I will come back to you when, he comes and everything. And this was in July. He came July 1st. And I had messaged her again, like shortly after that. And at that point, and I'm a boutique owner as well. And at that point, things were all right. A lot of us know that this has been a rough year for small businesses. Barely touching that, but things were starting to look bad. And so I had said to her, I was like, you know what? Just sign me up right away. Like, yes, I want to try the products, and yes, I want to do that, but just sign me up right away because I need something and I need to see where this can go because other things are just not working right now. What used to work is not working, and it's not working for our family, and my partner is a truck driver, and he started putting in 60-hour work weeks because we were anticipating that things were not going to be working. And being a new mom, like I said, I have a 2-year-old and I have a 3-month-old. And I didn't want to have to go back to working for corporate America. I want to be home with my babies. I want to be able to see their first, and to be able to go to gymnastics with my daughter or anything with my daughter right now. And so I signed up, and like Andrea said, I just started posting. I didn't even have the products, and I just started posting because Katie was having an amazing experience. And so I started posting her stuff and just ran with it because I was like, I need this to work. I need this to work. And then I started having great success with it. I'm down almost 20 pounds now. which is huge for me because like I said before, I have not been under 200 pounds in over 10 years. And I'm now in the 180s. Like that is wild to me because that was not a thing. And now we can actually, you know, being that we have both accounts, we are starting to be able to look at like, you know, my partner might not have to work 60-hour work weeks. He can actually be home with the kids. We've actually been able to look at it that I can stay home with the kids and that I can be able to do Trinant to be able to stay home with the kids. And eventually, and like we're using any extra money that we have right now to pay off his debt so that hopefully, you know, a couple months from now, we can actually have him not work 60-hour work weeks so that he can spend time with the kids as well, you know, and I don't have to have that fear anymore that my business isn't working and that, you know, things are failing. And it's such a light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing I do want to touch on quick too, because I know I'm probably going to push it over even more, but the community. And it's not, it is the community within our team, but it is the community of Trinant. One of the things that will always stick with me is when I first started and I started running, I got a phone call from a woman named Lou, a girl named Lou. And she welcomed me and she said, "What do you want to do with this business? Do you want to walk or do you want to run?" And I said, "I want to run." She said, "Cool. What trainings do you want?" So we scheduled some trainings. We scheduled trainings on the back office, on the comp plan, all of that. She went out of her way, like, and she scheduled these calls with me and trained me. Her and Zach did. When I got to leadership in October, out of middle of nowhere, I'm walking around with the kids, and all of a sudden I hear, "Krista!" She remembered who I was. Like, out of a sea of, you know, thousands of people and tens of thousands of people that are signing up with Trinant, this woman that works for Trinant remembered who I was and welcomed me in. And that was huge to me because I've never had that in my experience with network marketing ever. I've never had, you know, like the camaraderie from not only my team, the big team, but from the company itself. And that will always stick with me of how welcome I felt. I mean, I showed up to leadership with baby. And my team, I passed around my baby when, you know, like if he was getting fussy, that such, or when I walked across stage, Jessica took him so that she could snuggle him so that I could have that moment. And it's like, this team really is family. The company is family. They treat you amazing. So I cannot express enough how much the camaraderie has welcomed me. The comp plan has been amazing. Like, this whole opportunity is just wild. Like, take it and run with it because it is huge.
Oh my word.
Sorry.
Listen, I didn't really cry until the end. Oh, I feel like all of these stories, everybody can find something that's really relatable here. Krista, I absolutely love your story. And one of the things that you said that I heard from so many was varying degrees of they were drowning. They felt stuck. There wasn't a way out. That's how I felt too before I got into this industry. It was like there are no solutions. I don't know what else to do. You don't have to be that desperate. You can find success here if you're like, you know what, an extra $1,000 a month would be amazing. I'll go for that. Or you can be like us who got into this business due to desperation. We needed something to help us survive. And that's what you're going to find here. So I hope that you guys heard something that you took away. And like you heard from Tina even saying, sit with what you heard tonight and where would this help you? Is it the products? Is it the money? What is it? If you didn't feel our team's heart tonight, I just don't think that's possible. I think we got it across. This is probably, in my opinion, and I realize I'm biased because it's my team. They're probably one of the most incredible group of humans I've ever met in my life. And we want to run with you and we want to help you see your success in whatever way that looks like. So please reach out with the person that sent you this link so that we can have the conversation. We can answer all the questions. I appreciate every single person that shared their story and was vulnerable tonight. I'm going to go cry for just a few minutes before I go on my next live. I love you guys all so much. We appreciate you guys for spending your evening with us, and we will talk to you all soon.